we are back again. I wanted to give you guys this shit on the whole thing about the voting. As I said, I was gonna get back to it. Now, as you see on the you find out who the candidates are in your city or in your state, who the names or the people that's on the ballot. You know, you put in, you know, whatever position or whatever. You know, that's why I say you guys don't worry about the presidents. You got to worry about your, you know, your district attorneys, your counselors, you know, all that other stuff that's in your city and your state. Those are the ones that you should be really focusing on, because they make a difference in the place that you reside in your city, in your state, your county, whatever may be the case. Your county judges, you know, when there's a case that going on, you want to make sure you don't have a racist, prejudice district attorney who can like get people sentenced. Okay, we're gonna, you know, all that stuff. As you see already, also on social media, where a lot of this stuff is going on, and the district attorney can be devious as well. You know what I'm saying? And your judges, your sheriffs, you know, all these people here. So y'all need to put in your state and just look at the list of people who are running in your state, in your city, in your county. You know, you can also ask Google who is the state's or who is the city counselor, or, you know, all that, whatever may be the case. And then what you do, you can find out the name of it, what they're running, what they're doing. You know, you put it, you jot it into this system here that you guys see, that's in your state or whatever. And you do your own research on these people, because a lot of times we kind of like neglect that part of voting, of knowing who to vote for. And I said you can't always go by the skin color thing, you know. Now, once you do that, then you get more knowledgeable on how to vote and who to vote for, because a lot of us don't know. These people come out, they act like they're your buddies. They try to like pander to you. You know, I like collard greens too, you know, that kind of stupid stuff. So when you do that, this is how you find out who your candidates are across the board, what they represent. You might find out, you know, they might have an article on who they were back then. So you put these names, and it's how you find out who these people are too, and who to vote for. Now, I recently posted a young lady's video depicting with the hair products. You know, a lot of black people, and like one of my people that commented, you guys need to go and see the movie, what was it, Good Hair? The one Chris Rock, I believe, I think Chris Rock did this movie. It was showing about how the hair industry, you know, the hair industry makes a lot of money. You know, I seen a documentary before about the people over in India. You know, how us buying their hair boosts up their economy. So there's money in it, because we're the ones who pretty much are buying their stuff, right? So yeah, there was a video I put up of a young lady. She was talking about how the, you know, places are, how the Asian market is, like with the hair, the nails, and, you know, shit like that. You guys can watch the video. The video's up already on my timeline somewhere. But you have to also look into these politics with your, like for instance, the Black Caucus, right? You got your Black Caucus, you got your Asian Caucus, you got your White Caucus, you got your India Caucus. You got a lot of these people, right? And you guys need to look this up also. These people also have a say-so. The delegates, the people who they putting up the vote, you know, all this other stuff. You guys need to look into these caucus, because they also too represent, supposedly, represent the best interests of the group that they represent. This is why you have a White Caucus, you have a Black Caucus, you have an Asian Caucus. This is what you have in politics. And these people kind of like do have their hands into this stuff. And a lot of people saying that about the Asian stuff, that it's illegal to do this, they can't do this, you know, whatever may be the case, right? Well, I posted and said, well, I don't think it is legal, Meaning, like, I don't think it's like, they can do it. It's not a law against it, I said. In other words, it's not a law against it. However, I just stated also that if it was us and we had that going on, we was blocking other groups from like, you know what I'm saying? Like we was the hair product or the hair people that was, making that money. The Asian caucus, right? Because the Asian caucus people wanted to get involved, and they kind of like got the Asian caucus got the memo. I'm pretty sure they'll come down on and make that like, it's a crime to do this. You can't do this. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going at with this? This is how that works. So when you have your black caucus supposed to represent, you know what I mean? You got to look into these people and see who they are too. Because a lot, in my opinion, they don't represent our best interest, to be honest with you. But this is what I wanted to make the video about. You guys need to really look into this politics and see how to vote, who to vote for. Look into this, your black caucus, and see what their purpose is and why were they created for. What purpose do they make? You know what I'm saying? Whatever may be the case. The information's out there. You just got to look into it and look at it. Get some knowledge on it. It'll probably make you a better voter when you go out and vote. Because most of the time they try to pander to us with the color, skin, and, talk that talk or whatever, though. Don't never look into that. Because a lot of these guys, as I said, even with the Democratic Party, bro, they for me, in my opinion, we voted for our demise. Whoever they really represented, that's who they was for. As we seen in the videos when all this ICE shit was going on and, people had to get deported back and all this. And who are the people that came to fight for them? You had politics themselves coming out talking about that. Never for you, though. So this what made me understand, and my correction was to say that, yeah, they don't represent us, but they come out to pander for us. So that's when I said we're voting for our demise, meaning that we're going to vote for them to keep them in office while destroying us in a way, or replacing us in a way. So that's what my whole sentiment was on that, to say that voting for your demise, because apparently that's what was going on. But like I said, the video is up about the hair Asian situation. When the Italians did it, somebody left a comment and I said, yeah, only we have, like, we got to have this hate, not a hate to like try to harm people or whatever, but a selfish like hate, meaning that you're not going to get my apples. These apples are for us. You know what I'm saying? So that hate keeps the other people from coming in. And that's what they probably have for us to like block it, because I'm pretty sure they had conversations. They gathered themselves together and they say, we're going to trap the market. We're going to get into this where these people can't purchase nothing to start their own business and blah, blah, blah. So the Italians used to do, they'll burn your place down. If they was in competition, some kind of way they'll do that. Whatever may be the case though. But yeah, like I said, it's down at the bottom. You look at it, you go there, you put in your candidates, you see what they're doing, who's running, etc., etc., etc. Don't worry about them presidents. Worry about your own area, your community, your state, and try to make that better. Because the president can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we learn the politics. Everybody got power, and some people can't tell them what to do, how to run their state, how to run their country. I mean, not their country, but their states and so on. So. And then we got too many mayors and no governors, which is also suspicious to me. You know what I'm saying? But whatever though. But y'all, video's up. Talk to y'all again, man. Holla.